Welcome to Heart, Cat and Soul, a podcast designed to unravel the mysteries of the feline world on a physical, emotional, and energetic level. You are more than capable of connecting with your cat, but the hustle and bustle of life and the noise in our minds don't always let us truly listen. My name is Amaya Spindola, and I invite you to join me on this journey created for you to unlock the full potential of your relationship with your cat. Hello, and welcome back. If you've listened to Heart, Cat and Soul before, thank you for coming back. But if this is your first time with me, I'm truly glad you're here because you're arriving at a moment of change. Today's episode is a little bit different, but a very special one because I'm closing one chapter and beginning another. This podcast, it's changing its name, its home, its energy. But it is not a goodbye. It's more like a refinement, a voice getting clearer. But before I explain that, I want to talk about a book that really struck me. It's a very powerful one. It's called Can Medicine Be Cured? And it has to do a little bit on all these changes that I'm doing, but it also explains or gives some sort of reason or explains why I do what I do. I totally agree with him. Can Medicine Be Cured is a book written by Dr. Seamus O'Mahony, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. That it's a doctor disillusioned with the medical machine or medical industry. It's not exactly a dramatic rant. I would have loved that anyway, but it was more like a quiet, thoughtful, and absolutely devastating in its honesty. He speaks of medicine losing its heart, turning into a cold system full of numbers, protocols, and politics. Hospitals becoming bureaucracies, clinicians becoming functionaries, and patients turning into cases, diagnoses, risks to be managed, rather than people to be met. Thankfully, there are some doctors in the industry that are trying to make that shift and change things. It's not all that bad. But I couldn't help feeling those echoes that happen as well on the veterinary industry. It is quite the same, and in a way it's less regulated because yes, we do care a lot about our animals, but if you look at the different laws that we have for animals and for humans, there's always a distinction, like we care more about humans, right? And animals play a role, and that's it. And this is something that it always strikes me because in a way we need to thank animals that is the reason that we survived. Not only because we produce them and eat them, but also, we need to thank dogs that they're being around, keeping us safe, and cats. They also made sure that our food was free of plagues or rodents of any kind. So there's always been a symbiotic relationship between animals and humans, but humans tend to think that they just deserve it and that's it. And when I look at books like this, Mahoney mentions, that we are being cold for humans. So imagine where we stand in the veterinary industry. I feel like it's only profit that we're looking for, right? Because not even the vets are feeling well supported. We have a lot of problems among the colleagues, and many of them just simply decide to go for a different career. So I think we need to change that, and that is what I try to do, at least offer some alternatives. I was one of those vets that decided to go in a different road And at first it was a very lonely road, and then you meet a lot of amazing people that had been there for a while. And so you always find your tribe, your people, which is a good thing. But you need to be willing to look because it's like a needle in a haystack. They're not that many. But here we are. And so when you come across with books like this, you question, okay, I was right. You know, it wasn't just me. This guy is also have seen it and wrote a book about it. And in veterinary medicine, I think we need to start meeting and learning and hearing and listening to our clients. I know sometimes that can be a bit painful, but we need to understand the background history. We need to know whose cat is that, or whose dog, or any other animal. What is the environment? Why they got sick? Why they share the same disease as their guardian has? You know, we need to ask those questions. And in order to ask those questions, we need to leave aside the protocols just for a minute and, you know, take more time in those consultations. And then maybe we don't offer, because we don't have all the solutions. But the moment you give that information to the guardian and the guardian decides what to do, then maybe that he will find his own resources, and maybe you can start collaborating with a holistic vet such as me. But I think we need to start listening. It all starts with listening, especially with cats, as I say that in human medicines with women, because most of the science, you know, science for any scientific paper for cats, it takes much longer than it takes for dogs, because, you know, there are more people studying dogs than cats. And the same thing happens with women versus men. You know, most of the studies are made for men and not exactly for women. So again, this is what we have. But with cats, there is something else. Cats actually hide their pain. So if we don't ask, if we don't know anything about the background, and when I'm saying asking about these things is because most of the time I hear the guardian that it comes to me and says, you know, they just simply gave an antibiotic. They never asked me about this or that. And then it comes all the consequences of those actions just because you didn't ask. Or I see this a lot. Often they are mishandled because you haven't asked the personality of that cat, or you just tag him as a bad cat, aggressive cat. But if you just took 5 more seconds, ask about a bit, and offer some solutions, then maybe you will get, you know, that aggressive cat to react less without having to restrain them or do something aggressive to them. Because they don't have to understand what you're doing. They don't have to understand you're saving their lives. And we need to respect that. We need to respect how they're feeling. That is going to help on the healing process. Other things that, you know, cats don't shout when something's wrong. They do the opposite. They subtly change a behavior, or they withdraw, or they lie still. They don't say anything, you know, and only the most expert ones, or the attentive ones, can notice. People that have been, you know, keeping a log of their cats. But it can be completely ignored by but a normal guardian. There's nothing special. You know, some people just are more attentive than others, or have more busy lives. So we need a medicine that knows this, that listens, that feels, and not just measures. And this is what this book reminded me. I'm going to leave the link for if you want to purchase that on Amazon. And it reminded me as well what my path is, and why I do the holistic medicine, why I am supporting people in their decisions, why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Because I think that for me, it's important. I have a cat, but if I have an issue with my cats, and I would have loved to have some support. I would love to have somebody saying, well, this vet is telling you this, but you're feeling that this is not the right way to go, at least for your cat. And you don't know what to do because, your feeling is not the right thing, but at the same time, nobody's giving you another answer. And then you go in this, in circles trying to figure out things. So this is what I'm trying to do, say, I'm supporting you and helping you to find a good solution on things, and also offering you other possibilities that they are not offered normally on any clinic or any normal practice. And this is why I come to this point in time where my podcast is changing. Because all of this, all of the things that I've been mentioning. When I began Heart, Cat and Soul, I started this as a program, a 3-month program, where I was offering that support, and also I was teaching you how to do behavior, health and nutrition and everything all together in a program that lasted 3 months. It worked for a while, but I saw that most people struggle with the idea of being committed for 3 months in a long run with things that they needed to work on. And so I decided to just simply do a 360 consultation and simplify things. And anytime you want to ask about it, then you can adjust the way after the 360 consultation, you can call me for 15, 30 and 45 minutes, and we can simply talk about different questions that you may have. Or even if you have a follow-up, you can do as many as you want, as many as you need. And that makes it easier for everyone. And that is why Heart, Cat and Soul ceased to exist as a program. But it became a podcast because I wanted to share the importance of understanding nutrition for cats, understanding behavior, understanding health problems in a different and holistic perspective. But now I feel like there is something else, a less tangible thing, which is how we work on the frequency level, on the vibration, on the more energetic field of things. And I'm not talking about energy healing, which I truly believe and do, but what I'm talking about is, first of all, tapping on the potential that you have as a human being, using the tools that you already have to have a better relationship, a better connection, and help your cat in ways that I'm sure you never thought about it, which is using your voice. You don't need anything else. You just need to learn how to synchronize your voice with the heart and your breathing and give the right intention. And this is something you can improve yourself, and it will improve your own relationships, and also it will improve yourself and your cat, sorry. So when I started looking into how music affected, how sound therapy and I use a lot of different therapies. I use colors, I use minerals, I use essential oils, and so pharmacognosy, psychosomatics. I do loads of different things that I've been learning over the years. But what I think they all have in common, first of all, is where you're looking things from. I see what usually my patients are coming from clinics that they have their diagnosis, and they have done all their jobs with the medication and everything, and it seems not to be enough. And I know how that feels, because that's how I felt when I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I wasn't feeling right until I found a naturopath that helped me and guide me into the world and nutrition and other things. So I managed to feel better. I'm still struggling with other things, but in a way, I managed to feel better, not just with a pill. And this is what gave me, and this is when this book struck me a lot, because I felt it, I lived it, and this is the reason, the why I do what I do and the way I do it. But I also want to talk about the journey that I had to do with my voice, and how my reactive cat, I first of all, I became a better singer. I became a better guardian for him just by understanding how my voice connected to my heart and my breathing and my emotions and everything else. So in this new podcast that I'm launching, that it's going to be called A Voice for Cats. You can still listen to all the previous episodes of Heart, Cat and Soul. They're going to still be there. But this new podcast is going to live on Substack, and you're going to be able to subscribe, join the newsletter, receive all the information. We're going to talk about different topics, all from this perspective, and understanding how your voice can change those things, understanding, how to practice, how to become a better guardian, because, well, in the process, you're going to be a better human being. That's what happened to me, and I think it's possible for everyone else. And you're also going to feel empowered, that you don't have to have something special. You just need to tap into your voice, your intuition, and work from there. And I'll be guiding that way for you, supporting you in that process. And after that, you will be able to do it on your own and spread the word and feel in a community, because that's the other thing I'm doing. I started a Discord community. Discord is an open source platform where there is no algorithms or anything like that. You can simply use your Internet Explorer or any browser you want to use, or you can download the app. You have both options. It's a community that is very friendly. It allows you to have different channels. So I have English and Spanish channels, where I am going to be starting something called CATS meetings. CATS meetings means cat advocacy team support. And these meetings are places where you can share your experience. And actually, I do want your participation, and I do want you to tell me how you think the things are going and how you think you can solve them. I think we all have that creativity and those ideas, but it's easier for us to ask someone to guide us and do it for us. But I want you to share your experience, to think about solutions. So in your mind, you'll become empowered and be guided by me at the same time. So you're going to get really good tools. You're going to be thinking on your own, because questioning things, because you know your cat better than I do. I can just simply tap into a situation in your life, give you a different perspective, and then you can be as creative as you want to do whatever tool I gave you and adapt it to what it's yours, what it's your own life. And I think that is very, very important. And I love when I see my clients doing that, when I say, okay, have you tried this and that? And they, a couple of weeks later, they come back and say, well, I've tried this, but it didn't work entirely, but I tried this other thing instead, which it's similar to what you told me, but I changed this and that. And suddenly the cat started acting different. And yes, I love it. I love how you shift your mind into another possibility instead of thinking, no, I've just tried everything. So that is the point of the CATS meetings. There is no commitment. You just simply have to join every single time you want to. And they they are going to be all in the Discord community. Then you can share with the people there. One of the things I will have as a rule, it's going to be zero tolerance to judgments. I'm not going to allow that. I'd rather keep the group small and good and positive for everyone. Yeah, well, and that's the reason why I said that what I'm doing. I want you to have good information, learn to connect with your cats in a different way. So I thought it was time to change. Heart, Cat, and Soul serve its purpose, and now I need to go to a voice for cats because that's what I am. That is who I am, and I want to share that with you. So thank you very much for joining. I'm going to leave all the different links of all the things I've been mentioning today, and I want you to join, subscribe, like. Any of those things are very, very helpful. If you join the newsletter, you will receive some sort of gift. I haven't decided yet which of the things I have it's going to be for you, but hold on there. and subscribe. I'll make sure to get you something, especially if you join Discord. Okay. And say hello once you get in the community. Please say hello. Thank you very much for being there, and see you next time. Bye bye.